Welcome everyone on the day 13. Today we're going to talk about another object-oriented concept, which is encapsulation, which means that how do you bind the data and the methods together. What it is, let's try to see with the hands-on manner. Object-oriented concept, which is called as encapsulation. Encapsulation. Encapsulation has been inspired from a term called as encapsule. Capsule. Have you seen a capsule? Capsule is a form of a drug in which two types of drugs are basically, hold together. Let me first give you a typical definition of the encapsulation, and we'll talk about that what it makes sense. Encapsulation, very simple terms, means that it means binding data and methods together. And if I make it very simple in terms of programming in the world of Java, it means that any Java object or class, in that sense, if you go and say that, it means that all the fields should be made private, and then all the methods to access fields should be made public. Now, what does this mean? Let's try to understand with the help of real world example, and then I think it will start making sense to you people. As I said, that object oriented world is always trying to mimic what happens in the real world. Now let's say that in the real world, let's say that it's me. In the real world, there are many things which are very private to us. For example, I have my name equals to Vishwa. Fair. I have, let's say that a car which I drive, for example, BMW I have. Fair enough. Now these things are my private things. Let's say that tomorrow some other person in this world, XYZ, comes and say that, hey bro, from tomorrow onwards your name Vishwa is being changed to something called as Salman. Will I allow that? I'll not allow that. Let's say that someone else comes, PQR. He said, bro, from tomorrow onwards, your car is mine car. Will I allow that to happen? I will not allow that to happen. Right? So in the real world, we make sure that things which are our mine is mine. No one can go and take it. And if I have to go and mimic the same thing in the world of programming, I would like to go and achieve this. How do I do it? We do it by saying that whenever we go and define any class, for example, class person, and now this person will have a name, the person will have a car. What we have to make sure that these things has to be made private. I have to make sure that these things are being private, so that no other object can come and change it directly. That's the first principle of encapsulation. The first principle of encapsulation says that no other object should be allowed to go and change your state directly, and that we achieve by making sure that all the fields of a class are made private. So going ahead, when we are trying to write the code, we make sure that we are following the principles of encapsulation. So that's the first part, and the first part says that making the fields private, making the fields private. Awesome. Now the second part, even though these things are very private, but still in our life there are few people whom we have given the utmost importance. Let's say that, for example, I might not hear to XYZ person, but let's say that if my dad comes and he says that, beta, you should also add surname in your name. Now ultimately decision will be mine, but I have to have certain channels so that my close one, my dears and near ones can still suggest me. And if I agree, let's say that I go and say that, okay, my name I can go and update from Vishwa to, for example, Vishwa Mohan. Similarly, let's say that my sister says that, calls me that, bro, my car is broken. Can you give me your car? Now since my sister is asking, I'll say that yes, it's all yours. Please go ahead and take the car. So I go and allow my sister to take the car itself. So even in the real world, even though we don't allow anyone to go and play with our private stuff, but we have certain channels, the mediums for our near and dear ones, so that they can come and actually go and use it as they want. The same thing, same behavior, I have to go and provide some channel for interaction, so that even I know that external object cannot go and change the state of my object, but there should be some way so that they can go and interact. And that we do with the help of something called as, so we make these private, but we provide the public methods to access them. So when you go and provide the public methods to access them, combine these two things together is called as encapsulation. Let me give you one more example that why encapsulation is important, because we might be doubting that why do I need to do it. Let's take a real world example. Let's assume that this is your house and this is your neighbor's house. And just like a very good neighbor, you have been very friendly with your friend. Now this guy who's your neighbor is taking advantage of that. What advantage is taking? Every time he needs a sugar, he will directly come to your house, and since it is open in the kitchen, he will take as much sugar he wants, and he go back and use it in his own household. Now you felt that it's a good responsibility of being a nice neighbor. You didn't ask him and you kept everything open. So this guy came, took the sugar, went out, and he kept on doing it randomly. Now because of this thing, you have started facing a problem. The problem is that every time you want to go and make the tea, even though you don't have a problem he taking your sugar, but at the right moment, let's say that one fine day you call your friends and you went inside the kitchen to make the tea, you find that there is no sugar. So because of this behavior, you have no control. No control. You don't know when you have sugar in your house, when you don't have, even if you try to maintain best of the inventory. So this is happening because there is no encapsulation. There is nothing which you have ensured that there is your control on the state of the kitchen. Because it's pretty open, anyone can come, take the sugar, go back. The same setup if it was encapsulated. How does that look like? So what you again do here is that this is your house and it's here, and then this is your neighbor. Now the bottle in which you have kept the sugar, let's say that you have locked it and you have the keys. Right? So now every time this guy comes here, he sees that, hey, sugar box is now locked, I cannot take it. But you still have given him the option that he can come and tell you, hey bro, today I have, let's say that friend is saying that my girlfriend is visiting me today, can you just get me sugar so that I can impress her? Now you know that, okay, this guy is asking sugar from me. Everything is controlled. And now if you decide, you can allow him to take the sugar. If you don't want, you can say that, hey bro, I'm sorry, I cannot get you the sugar today, I'm running out of the stock. So in this way, when you made this lock on it, you are making sure that your sugar is private now, and then you have the key with yourself, so that person can come to you. So you are the medium through which you decide that sugar should be allowed or not. This state of the house is called as encapsulation, and when you go and maintain the encapsulation, you have the proper control on how the state of the object has to be managed. So let's say to see a quick code to understand how it would be done. So let me go and open my Eclipse. And we're going to find an example. So let me go and find another class. Let me go and call it as class person. So let me go and find some field colors. Int age, string name, string car name. Now, if I have to make the encapsulation, this may have to make this class encapsulated. I'll have to use all these instance variables that you see here has to be private. So I go and say that private. Private, we have already talked about what the private does. And now since I have made all these fields private, I need to provide the public getters and setters, the methods through which the external object can go and interact with these fields. So I go and say that public void set age, and I can go and say that int age equals to this dot age equals to age. Similarly, I have to go and provide the method for getting the age. So I will say the public int get age, and this will return this dot age. Right? Similarly, I have to do for the two more fields. Now, since this is such a common thing, Eclipse provide you the utilities through which you can automatically generate the setters and getters. So what do you need to do? You just have to go and click on the right click, then you click on the source, and then you go and click here generate getters and setters. When you go and do this, you have to go and find for which fields you want to generate the getters and setters. Since for the age we already did it, so I only need to do for the car name and the name. And as you can see here, my all the getters and setters have been created. So this class which you see, where I have made sure that my fields are private, right? This class where I have made sure that my fields are private and the methods are public. This is a classic example of encapsulation. In the beginning, when someone is starting their OOPS concept first, one of the common mistake that they do is that differentiating between encapsulation and abstraction. Abstraction, boss, is hiding the unnecessary details from your customer. In Java, you do it with the help of abstract classes or interfaces. Encapsulation is making the fields private and providing the public setter and getter methods for those fields, so that you have a control that who changes the state of your object and how. So we have covered two concepts already, abstraction and encapsulation. It's time to move to the next object-oriented principle. So finally, day 13 is also gone. Today we talked about encapsulation. We saw with the real world examples. We also saw with the coding example that I gave you to understand how encapsulation works. In a nutshell, if you make fields private and provide a public getters and setters, that's what encapsulation is. But that's only the code part. What was that? I think you have a good understanding of that now. Make sure that all these concepts that you're mastering, you are practicing well, you are tagging me. If you go and commit in the public that you're going to do Java in next 30 days, I think that will kind of create some kind of mental support for you people that yes, I have committed and I'll do it. Tag me over the LinkedIn, tag me over Instagram, to your social media, whatever that you like, and let me know that how you are enjoying this 30 days Java learning challenge. We are almost half through, and I'm pretty sure that you'll guys make the best out of this. Do let me know in the comments how your learning journey is going on.